Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. Fox 45 Morning News is keeping you weather alert as winter weather moves into our region. You're taking a live look right now over the Inner Harbor where things are calm. Hard to tell what that is, but our team of meteorologists is predicting a mix of rain and snow to start around 10 a.m. this morning. You can bet it'll impact your weekend plans. That includes the Ravens game that kicks off at 4:30 this afternoon. Thanks for being with us this Saturday, January 6th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get to our live team coverage that we have here in studio and on the roads this morning. Right now on the left of your screen, you're looking at our Weather Authority radar, which shows that system moving in from the west. On the top right of your screen, a live look at the roads from our Chevy Storm Tracker. And then that middle box right there, a Len Stoller mobile track. But in a couple minutes, we'll head outside for a check of the roads. But let's begin right here in studio with meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at your forecast. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Taylor. Yeah, things are quiet right now. We're just starting off cloudy. Here's where that winter weather maker is. It's just now inching its way into western parts of Maryland. So areas well to our west see the snowfall first. But this system is traveling our direction. And by the end of the morning, we're going to see this mixed precipitation here. The blue is snow, the pink is ice, and the green is rain. So we are tracking all of the things as we head through the remainder of your Saturday. In advance of that, we've got a winter storm warning posted for northwestern parts of our region. That includes Carroll County. That's where most of the impacts are expected. If you're included in that purple color, that's a winter weather advisory. Both of these will go until 7 p.m. this evening. Both mean we are tracking travel impacting snowfall and some slick conditions, especially as the morning continues. So here's the latest on the timeline. If you are traveling right now, I'm giving it the green light. It's just going to be dry and cold with clear roads, at least for the next couple of hours. I think around 10 a.m., that's when that snowfall arrives, and that's when slick spots are expected to develop. Through midday, we're tracking a mix of rain and snow, so expect slick conditions at that point. And then things get messy for the second half of the day, not necessarily from the snow, but because we're changing over to that steady and heavy rain, and that's going to create some messy road conditions as we head through the rest of the night. We're actually going to check in on the road conditions right now. Olivia Dance is out and about in the Chevy Weather Authority Storm Tracker, and I think you're heading to Westminster, right?
Yeah, good morning, Amy. We are on our way to Westminster right now. We're actually on Old Westminster Pike, just got off the highway here. And this is, Westminster is one of the areas that we're expecting is supposed to get some of the snow here. But right now, it's pretty much quiet and dry out on the roads. Seeing a few cars out on the roads this morning. And we can also see that most of the roads have been pre-treated. So I don't know if you can see on our camera here, but there's lines going through the middle of the road. That's that salt brine mix, that solution that they pre-treated the roads with, just prevents any sticking once we start to see some of that snow or rain. We actually spoke with the Maryland State Highway Administration yesterday, and they said that they're prepared for this storm. They're ready. They're going to have crews out and about. You can see they already pre-treated those roads. But yeah, they're really ready to go because we really haven't seen a big snowstorm in a while. So they said they're in some ways excited but prepared for whatever the storm brings. They will have crews out, and of course, we also have the Ravens game later this afternoon. So, of course, we'll be tracking conditions all over the area and the impact that this storm could have on the roads and anyone traveling in general or to the game later this morning. But again, right now, all clear out on the roads. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Olivia. Calm situation now, but things could change. Make sure you have that WBFF app in your Weather Authority Storm Team. It's going to give you everything we have coming up. Just search WBFF in your app store. Fox 45 News is looking ahead to Wednesday as lawmakers head back to Annapolis beginning the 2024 legislative session. A frontline concern, juvenile crime. Police, prosecutors, and parents around the state have expressed concerns with the current juvenile justice system. Some of those complaints center around shortfalls within the Department of Juvenile Services, particularly as cities across the region see an increase in juvenile crime. This morning, Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost is breaking down several examples of issues within the Department of Juvenile Services. Take a look.
In November, this violent assault was caught on home surveillance video.
They didn't even give me a chance for me to give them whatever they wanted. They just jumped on me and started pushing me and punching me and stuff.
The suspects, 12 and 14 years old. Baltimore police detaining the teens, bringing them here to the Baltimore Juvenile Justice Center. But they were released to their parents. Then this letter was sent to BPD and the Department of Juvenile Services Secretary Vincent Schiraldi, raising questions about why the teens were released. The authors of the letter, Senate President Bill Ferguson, Delegate Luke Clippinger, who also chairs the House Judiciary Committee, and others. Fast forward to now, Fox 45 News confirming with DJS, the intake director at the BCJJC, replaced. As of December 21st, an acting director took over. The personnel changes, in line with what Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates says is a culture Secretary Schiraldi is dealing with inside the department.
I believe, talking to Secretary Schiraldi, he really gets it. But I also think that he's dealing for culture and DJS, where you have individuals who just don't want to ever, no matter what young people do, ever want to have a young person detained. So he's fighting that culture.
Friday, Fox 45 News sending questions to DJS asking, what are the job qualifications required for intake employees? How many intake employees work at each DJS facility? Is that considered fully staffed? What's the ideal staffing level? We also asked to see copies of the intake forms used and for a copy of the written intake protocols. Meanwhile, there remains to be questions about how cases are prosecuted.
Currently, they act as a bit of a gatekeeper because it's their intake officers who are making the decision whether the case should be charged immediately or should be charged later, but still charged, or even not charged at all.
Catherine Rosenblatt is the deputy chief of the Juvenile Division in the City State's Attorney's Office. She says she hasn't seen a uniform process when it comes to making intake decisions, and that's why the top prosecutor, Ivan Bates, wants some of the guessing removed from the process and instead put the decision in the hands of a judge. Bates says last year,
almost 33% of those were individuals based on our research and analysis that says these are cases that should have gone to a juvenile magistrate, and DJS should not have been allowed to make the call. That's exactly why I've been yelling, screaming, change, tweak this law, and just say DJS does not have a say, but yet let's give it straight to the judge automatically with certain offenses.
Amid the intake questions, there's concerns about an adult facing a laundry list of attempted murder and other related charges connected to the Brooklyn Homes mass shooting, which was Baltimore's worst mass shooting in history. A judge approved the transfer of an 18-year-old, Tristan Jackson, from adult jail to juvenile detention. A DJS representative was at the hearing where the motion was made. According to police records, Jackson was tracked to the scene of the Brooklyn Homes mass shooting by GPS monitor that he was already wearing. Jackson under DJS supervision already for bringing a loaded gun to Merville High School in February of 2023. Police say Jackson was seen on CCTV video spraying 5 rounds in the direction of several unknown people who were running away.
It's incredibly unusual, if not unheard of.
Baltimore area attorney Jeremy Eldridge calls the transfer outlandish and says it could set a dangerous precedent moving forward.
The fact that DJS and the Office of the Public Defender are openly advocating for an adult who's been charged as an adult to be held at a juvenile detention facility means that other judges will have to consider the same thing. And more importantly, does it not pose a safety risk for the juveniles who are already there pending other charges?
A DJS spokesperson tells me that the intake officers are actually case managers, and they also work throughout the community. And I did get a breakdown of how many intake officers are working in the different DJS facilities. You can find that information in this story on our website. In the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
And that brings us to our question of the day. Should lawmakers address juvenile crime at the start of the next session? So far, 97% of those who have voted say yes. You can make your voice heard right now at foxbaltimore.com/vote. 20 minutes into a flight and a part of a passenger plane blows out midair. Coming up this morning, the incredible video inside the plane and the action the airline's now taking.
And we are weather alert today as our first winter storm moves into the region. I believe snow starts late morning before a snow-rain mix develops this afternoon. Heaviest snowfall will be seen north and west of Baltimore. I've got an updated look at exactly how much snow we're expecting today in just a couple of minutes. It's 7:09. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News. Does this just start with?
And we are on a weather alert this day. We're checking with the Maryland State Highway Administration in just a few minutes here to see how those roads are faring this morning. That's coming up. And this morning, a convicted felon on federal probation back on the run. We have an update on the search for the suspect and the Halloween scare he's accused of committing. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition, all local, all morning. Fox 45 Morning News is keeping you weather alert as we continue to track winter weather moving into our region later this morning. Here on the left of your screen, you're taking a live look at our Weather Authority radar that shows the winter weather moving in from the west. Right now, a live look at those road conditions from our Len Stoller mobile track. Stick with Fox 45 Morning News. Coming up at 8:30 this morning, we have a live interview with the Maryland State Highway Administration on how to stay safe during inclement weather. Let's get over to meteorologist Amy Aronson for a look at our forecast. Right now, I mean, the sky behind you looks gorgeous, very calm, the calm before the storm, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you can see the clouds have already pushed in. They are draped over Baltimore, not seeing any snow or rain just yet, but that's going to change today. We're starting off right at that 32-degree mark, so we've got the cold air in place, and then the moisture is going to arrive. I think we will start off with some snowfall. That's going to happen by the very end of the morning. So right as we're wrapping up here around 10 a.m., we should start to see that snow start to push in. And then a rain-snow mix develops by midday. Turning over to heavy rain tonight. So if you're headed to the Ravens game late this afternoon and this evening, you're going to be up against some heavier rain, and that's going to take us through the end of this storm. So here's a look at the storm right now. We've got heavy rain and storms to the south. We've got snow to the north. We're going to kind of get a mix of everything. We're sandwiched right in the middle here. And you can see that mixed precipitation pushing in from the south and from the west this morning, just now reaching extreme western parts of Maryland. So it has some time before it pushes in here. I think we will start to see a few rain and snow showers drift in over the next couple of hours. Looks like by 10 a.m. we get some snow coming down north and west. That includes northern Baltimore County into Carroll County, and then some rain Baltimore on southward. We see that rain-snow mix right around midday, and then from the south to the north here will change over to rain. So it looks like northern regions will hold on to the snow a little longer through about 3 o'clock. After that, we all switch over to this. This yellow stuff, that's moderate to heavy rain coming down on top of the snow. So that's going to kind of wash away anything we end up seeing. That will take us through the rest of the evening and through tonight as the storm gets out of here, as the Ravens game's actually wrapping up between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight. After that, we have some time before temperatures fall back below freezing, but anything that's not cleared by tomorrow morning could certainly refreeze. We start off close to freezing again around this time actually tomorrow. but at that point, the rain and the snow is out of here. So here's an updated look at exactly how much snowfall we're expecting. If you're south of Baltimore, it's just pure rain. In Baltimore, about a trace to an inch, just north of Baltimore through Baltimore County, about 1 to 2 inches, and then I think the highest amounts are north and west in Carroll County and extreme northern Baltimore County, about 1 to 3 inches of snowfall there before we make that switch over to heavy rain. So it's going to be a messy, sloppy day out there. We're starting off cold and dry this morning. Now's the time to run any last-minute errands if you want to avoid this rain-snow mix later on. Rain and snow gets started around 10, 11 a.m., takes us through the afternoon, and then this evening we all switch over to that soaking, heavy, chilly rain. And that's what you're up against for the Ravens game. Pack the ponchos. It's going to be a chilly, wet night there at M&T Bank Stadium with temperatures in the upper 30s. And on our 7-day forecast, you'll notice for weather alert today because of that sloppy mess. We're drier, we're breezy tomorrow. After that, another weather maker comes in on Tuesday. This one comes with some heavy rain and some milder air. Taylor?
A man convicted in a 2010 murder case is currently out on federal probation, but investigators say he's now back on the run, this time for attempted murder of a Baltimore woman. Here's Alexa Ashwell with this week's Maryland's Most Wanted.
Jermaine Carmichael has a criminal history that spans nearly 2 decades. Investigators say he served time in prison for manslaughter and has a history of violating his probation time and time again. Now he's accused of opening fire on a woman following a dispute and is once again wanted by the U.S. Marshals Service. October 31st, 2023, Southwest Baltimore's Montclair neighborhood. It's Halloween. The trick-or-treaters are done for the night, the candy gone. But a Baltimore woman still in for a scare. She tells investigators as she and another woman are cleaning out her car outside of her home here on South Gilmore Street, a familiar face appeared.
Mr. Carmichael approaches her.
Investigators say the woman recognized the man as 36-year-old Jermaine Carmichael and says he got out of his car, pulled a gun from his waistband, and pointed it at her.
The woman jumps into her car, throws it into drive, and attempts to flee the scene.
Then, the sound of a gunshot.
She hears a sound, and what was later found was a bullet hole in her lower driver's side door. Carmichael fired his weapon, and it hit the driver's side door.
The woman reports the incident to police and tells investigators she believes Carmichael was targeting her due to her involvement in a prior incident between Carmichael and his girlfriend.
And during the conversation with law enforcement officers, she says that she was involved in an altercation with Mr. Carmichael. She feels like she was targeted. Mr. Carmichael at that time was actually having an argument with his girlfriend, and she, I believe, went to intervene.
What was that argument about?
At this time, we do not know what that argument was about.
Investigators look into Carmichael and quickly realize not only is he on federal probation for drug-related and gun charges, but has an extensive criminal history that dates back to 2005. Over the past 2 decades, court records show arrests and/or convictions for drug distribution, possession, assault, and in 2010, a murder charge.
This was a 2010 beating death of a man. Mr. Carmichael was charged with murder. He actually pled that down to a manslaughter case.
Records show Carmichael was sentenced to 10 years in prison, with half of that suspended, and 3 years probation for the manslaughter conviction as part of a plea deal, but violated his probation at least twice. In 2013, after being arrested for armed robbery and assault, then again in 2015 for being found in possession of a handgun. Court records show around that same time, Carmichael was charged in a federal case for conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance and a firearms charge. Carmichael still under federal supervision when investigators say he opened fire on a woman as she fled from him in her car.
Mr. Carmichael's criminal history definitely shows that he is a violent fugitive. He shot a firearm at a woman's car. That bullet could have went anywhere, killed somebody, could have killed an innocent bystander.
Carmichael, investigators warned, likely armed and dangerous.
If anybody does see Mr. Carmichael, they call 911. Mr. Carmichael is presumed to be a violent fugitive with a firearm.
Investigators believe Carmichael is likely still in the Baltimore region, so take a good look. He's described as standing at about 5'6" and weighing approximately 140 pounds. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the U.S. Marshals Service. The tip line number right here, 1-877-WANTED-2. Or you can contact agents directly at 202-819-5050. 58. Remember, you can always remain anonymous and you could earn a reward. I'm Alexa Ashwell, and this is Maryland's Most Wanted.
A Baltimore County high school teacher smoking with students. This viral video that's triggered a letter home to parents. That's just ahead in today's Project Baltimore. But first, we are weather alert this morning, tracking our first winter weather system moving into the area. Stick with Fox 45 Morning News all weekend, all long, all morning. Fox 45 Morning News is weather alert this morning as we gear up for a wintry mix to bring rain and snow to our region. A live look now at our Weather Authority radar, which shows that system moving in from the west. Our team of meteorologists predict the rain and snow will begin sometime around 10 a.m. this morning. Stay with Fox 45 Morning News as we keep you up to date with the latest information. All right, take a look at this. Passengers on an Alaska Airlines flight heading to California got the shock of a lifetime Friday. The window on the plane just popped off 20 minutes into that flight. 171 passengers and 6 crew members were on board. Thankfully, no serious injuries to report here. The plane made its way back safely to Portland, where it departed from. The FAA says the aircraft got its airworthiness certificate in October of last year. The airline and National Transportation Safety Board say they're investigating what happened. But in the meantime, Alaska Airlines says it's grounded its fleet of 737 MAX 9 planes. Speaking of flying, it was a busy holiday weekend at U.S. airports. The TSA says it screened more than 2.6 million passengers on Friday before New Year's Eve. That number was 2.5 million on Saturday and then 2.1 million Sunday. Meantime, the cancellation rate dropping in 2023, the lowest rate in at least 10 years, according to the Transportation Department. The DOT released data showing a 1.2% cancellation rate across more than 16 million flights. That's below the 10-year average of 1.7%. All right, Ravens fans, get fired up. The Ravens take on the Steelers this afternoon, and the team is looking to finish the regular season on a strong note. Still ahead in our morning sports report, the 6 players who will not be playing. And another live look at our Weather Authority radar and our Len Stoller mobile track. Stick with us as that snow moves on in. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition. All local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. We are starting off weather alert this morning as a winter storm is expected to move through Maryland today. You're taking a live look over the Inner Harbor, and we could see some snow, some chilly rain. Right now, that is not the case. A gorgeous start to your day. Thanks for being with us this Saturday, January 6th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get on over to our live team coverage this morning. On the left of your screen right there is our Weather Authority radar system. It shows that system moving in from the west as we speak. On the top right of your screen, Olivia Dance is live in our Chevy Storm Tracker, checking out the roads for us. And in the middle, our Len Stoller mobile track. We want to start here in studio, though, with meteorologist Amy Aronson for a look at your forecast. Amy, things look calm now, but I can see that system moving in, and things will quickly change this morning, possibly.
Yeah, it's the calm before the storm, literally this morning. We have showers off to our west, and they are slowly creeping in now. So we are starting to see some snow showers enter extreme western Maryland. Most of the moisture is still to our west, so I think we still have some time to kill before it gets here. If you have any last-minute errands to run, by 10, 11 a.m., we're going to see that mixed precipitation show up in this area. Right now, in advance of that, we've got all these bright colors on the screen. That's indicating a winter storm warning, first for Carroll County up until 7 o'clock tonight. That's where the highest impacts are expected from this system. The purple is a winter weather advisory. That includes areas just east of that, so Baltimore County up through Hartford County. That also until 7 o'clock. That means some slick spots also expected there. So we are tracking the potential for some snowfall to start off later this morning. I think between 10, 11 a.m. if you are on the lookout for it. A rain-snow mix will then follow through the early afternoon with more rain to the south and east, more snow to the north and west. So we will see the highest amounts there. Now coming up in just about 10 minutes, I've got an updated look at our snowfall totals from this system. I'll let you know exactly how much we're expecting before we all make that change over to the heavy rain. Taylor? Or actually, Olivia. We're going to check in with Olivia out and about on the roads this morning. She's cruising around in our Chevy Weather Authority Storm Tracker. How's it looking out there, Olivia?
Yeah, good morning. Hey, Amy, we've made it to Westminster. Last time you saw us, we were on the highway still, but we are off of Baltimore Boulevard in Westminster. This is one of the areas that we're expecting to get the most snow. So far, though, we're not seeing any snow. It's really quiet and dry out here this morning, but we are starting to see more cars on the road. We're also starting to see a lot of snow plows as well. So we can see that most of the roads have been pre-treated with that salt brine solution. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but those lines in the middle of the road, that's that solution that they're already pre-treated with in case it does start to snow and rain. It'll make sure that the roads aren't too slick. The Maryland State Highway Administration says they are prepared for this storm since they haven't really seen a big storm like this in a while. So they said they're kind of excited and ready to go, actually. We've seen several snowplows stationed here off Baltimore Boulevard. We also passed the MDOT facility here too, and we saw them filling up the plows with the salt brine solution, filling up the plows with gas. So they're really getting ready, and they're definitely prepared for this storm. And once it does start to snow, again, we're expecting some snow here in the Westminster area. They said that they will start to send those crews out, and they will station them across the state, but in the areas where they're expecting the most snow. Again, that's likely the Westminster area. So we're going to continue to track the road conditions here all morning. But again, right now, all clear. Back to you guys.
Good to see. Thanks, Olivia. Remember, anytime severe weather hits, you can stay ahead of the storm with our Fox 45 Weather Authority app. Just search WBFF in your app store. A Baltimore County high school launching an investigation into one of its own teachers after a video surfaced showing a teacher smoking an unknown substance with students. Project Baltimore's Chris Papps obtained this video, which has students talking.
The video was recorded in January 2023, 1 year ago. Sources at the school tell us it just recently surfaced and quickly became the center of a scandal at Parkville High School.
It's currently January.
The video begins with this teenager, who we are not identifying because she's a minor. She's sitting outside at a table with 3 other people who she introduces by name.
Say hi to say hi to Specker. Say hi to
2 of them are also teenagers who we are not identifying. The third is this woman in a hooded sweatshirt, identified in the video as Spraker. At 14 seconds into the video, the teenager pauses as Spraker leans over the table and offers her an unknown substance. The teenager then inhales and blows the smoke into the camera. The video then ends. Project Baltimore has confirmed all 3 teenagers in the video are students at Parkville High School. The woman in the sweatshirt, identified as Spraker, is 25-year-old Sierra Spraker, a social studies teacher at Parkville High School. I'm calling for Sierra Spraker. Project Baltimore reached out to Spraker. We texted, emailed, and left a voicemail, but never heard back. The next day, what appears to be her social media accounts on Instagram and LinkedIn, which identify her as a Baltimore County teacher, were shut down. We also called all 3 students who appear in the video. We spoke with 2 of the students and a relative for the third. They all declined to comment.
It's cold as out here, bro.
Earlier this week, as the video was circulating around the school, Parkville High School's principal sent this letter home to parents. The principal refers to the video, saying it shows a teacher engaged in inappropriate behavior with a group of students. Project Baltimore on Wednesday sent the video to Baltimore County Public Schools Central Office, asking what actions, if any, the district is taking to address the situation. We received a response saying this incident is under investigation. Sources tell Fox 45 Spraker was at the school teaching on Tuesday, but has not been there the rest of the week. Coming up on Monday, we'll have more on this story, including hearing from a current student at Parkville High School who explains why they believe this video took a year to surface. I'm Chris Papst, and this is Project Baltimore.
Now, Project Baltimore wants to hear from you. Do you have a story to share about your child's education or a concern you'd like our team to investigate? Call that tip line on your screen or send us an email to projectbaltimore@foxbaltimore.com. You can also find us on Instagram. The Baltimore City State Attorney's Office says at least 2 of the 5 teenagers charged in the Brooklyn Day mass shooting will have a hearing on March 7th. The office confirming to us Tristan Jackson and Aaron Brown are scheduled to be there, but keep in mind there are 3 other defendants under the age of 18. The attorney's office says they cannot give us details on who those 3 defendants are because of their age. The Baltimore Banner, though, is reporting the hearing is to determine whether all 5 suspects should be tried together. The Baltimore County Police Department is also looking for a group of teenagers in connection to a shooting at Mondawmin Mall that left a UPS driver hurt. Now, the release of the surveillance footage from the Baltimore Police Department shows the images of 6 persons of interest from this shooting back on December 29th. They're all seen walking out of the mall into their cars. When 2 other males come out of the mall, that's when police say Juvenile spotted those individuals and they began shooting. They drove away. Nobody in the group was hurt, but a stray bullet pierced a UPS worker in the ankle.
I hope they find them too. You know, we got to get this I call them scum off the streets. You know, it's sad that you can't walk outside these days without, you know, getting hurt or something like that.
Now, there's a $4,000 reward for any information that leads to the arrest of any of the 6 persons of interest in this shooting at Mondawmin. We're just 6 days into the new year, and we're once again seeing a spike in carjackings. The Baltimore Police Department arrested 3 teenagers in connection to an armed carjacking in Northwest Baltimore on Thursday. Investigators say the teens carjacked a man at gunpoint on Park Heights Avenue around 6:20 in the morning. They were arrested hours after an officer spotted them and that stolen car just a few miles away on Reisterstown Road. This case marks the 6th carjacking to be reported in Baltimore in just the first few days of the year. It's yet another example of young people committing violent crimes.
I don't want to hear apologies. I want to hear what we're going to be doing for the kids.
And we've had the opportunity to really talk, to share, and to say, what could we do united to, hopefully fix the problems that we're suffering together.
Another recent crime involves targeting of a U.S. postal vehicle. According to U.S. Postal Police, 4 people vandalized and stole items from a postal vehicle that, as an employee, was delivering mail in North Baltimore's village of Cross Keys. This happened back on December 30th. A $100 reward is now being offered in this case, according to a spokesperson with U.S. Postal. Maryland's star quarterback is now in the transfer portal. Just ahead, what needs to happen if he wants to play a 6th year.
And if you're waking up wondering, where's the snow? It's coming later this morning. This morning it's just dry and cold, so the roadways are still clear if you have any errands to run. But rain and snow develops by midday, and that's going to create some travel issues later today and this afternoon, especially as we switch over to that heavy rain tonight. I'll break down the timeline of this storm hour by hour in just a couple of minutes. It's 7:40. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Fox 45 Morning News is keeping you weather alert. Our team of meteorologists are tracking the timing of a wintry mix heading towards our region. On the left of your screen there, our Weather Authority radar shows that system moving on in from the west. And then on the right, you're taking a live look at the roads from our Len Stoller mobile track.
President Biden says democracy is in danger just 10 days before the first votes are cast in 2024. Why? And how's he tackling his own challenges? I'm Scott Duman in Washington with a closer look.
And as our weather maker moves in, the Ravens gearing up to take on the Steelers right here at M&T Bank Stadium. After the break, meteorologist Amy Aronson will let us know if the rain and snow will impact today's matchup. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition, all local, all morning. All right, we are weather alert. Meteorologist Amy Aronson is back with another look at our forecast. Timing it all out for us because right now, calm before the storm looking live over M&T.
Yeah, M&T going to be busy later today. I wouldn't be shocked if we start to see some fans gathering outside this morning. It's all quiet there now, but we know that's going to change today as our latest winter weather maker moves in. We're currently starting off the day near freezing, so we've got that cold air in place, cold enough for, some snow to start. We've got to wait, though. It's going to come later this morning. Then a rain-snow mix will follow by midday, and then eventually we all swap over to that heavy rain late this afternoon and this evening. And here's the weather maker to blame for all of this. It's currently producing heavy rain to the south, snow to the north. We end up sandwiched right in the middle of this system. So that means we're going to see a little bit of everything from rain to ice to some snow. And already you can see all three colors showing up on the weather map here. As these showers start to inch their way into the Baltimore region, you'll notice a couple of blue little showers starting to trickle in now, and they will increase in coverage as we head through the rest of the morning. So I think by the end of the morning, 9, 10 a.m., we start to see these showers push into the region. If you're north and west, it'll start as snow. If you're south and east of Baltimore, most likely just a chilly rain. We'll see that brief period of snow. If you are just to the north of Baltimore, that will take us through the first part of the afternoon. So if you're hoping for some snow, get outside and enjoy it up through about 2, 3 o'clock. After that, we're going to swap over to this. That yellow stuff is just heavy soaking rain. So that's going to wash away any of the snow we happen to pick up. And then heavy rain will take us through this evening and through the first part of tonight, wrapping up around 8, 9 o'clock as that Ravens game is actually wrapping up. After that, we've got some time before temperatures fall back below freezing. But remember, anything that's not treated overnight tonight will most likely freeze back up. So we will be dealing with some leftover slick spots as you step out the door right around this time tomorrow. So here's a fresh look at how much snowfall we're expecting. It's not a ton. If you're south and east down towards Anne Arundel County, most likely just a chilly rain there. A trace to about an inch through Baltimore City. Just north of the city, 1 to 2 inches. If you're in Carroll County, north and west, most likely a slushy 1 to 3 inches before that changeover to rain happens. So this morning we're just cold and dry. We're awaiting the moisture. Rain and snow gets started by 10, 11 a.m. at the latest, and then will take us through the afternoon. This evening, I think we all start to switch over to that heavy, chilly rain, and that's how the storm is going to wrap up. That means if you're headed out to M&T Bank Stadium, it's going to be a sloppy day for the game. Don't forget the poncho, also a sweatshirt. It's going to be a chilly rain that takes us through much of the game with temperatures in the upper 30s. So we are weather alert today because of that messy situation that's about to unfold. Takes us through much of the day with a 100% chance for rain and snow. Breezy and drier tomorrow as the system rolls out of here. After that, we're actually going to warm up next week. And I do want to point out Tuesday because we've got another weather maker coming in. This one will be a pure rain maker, but it's going to send us the potential actually for some heavy rainfall. That will take us right into Wednesday. Taylor?
A serious warning from President Biden as he makes his first campaign appearance of the year. But will it make a difference with voters? Sinclair's chief political correspondent, Scott Thuman, joins us now with a look at the president's message and why Republicans say Biden has his own issues to tackle.
The buck stops at the president's desk when he's president of the United States.
It was almost 80 years ago that Harry Truman's buck stops here mantra signaled responsibility rests with the president. For President Biden, whether it be inflation, immigration, or concerns over crime, the country's struggles are also, by default, his, and limit what he may run on in 2024. So as he hit the trail Friday near the Revolutionary War site Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, he warned of perceived dangers in electing Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's campaign is about him, not America, not you. Donald Trump's campaign is obsessed with the past, not the future. He's willing to sacrifice our democracy, put himself in power.
Citing the January 6th anniversary, he and other Democrats claim democracy is in peril.
The struggle that began on January 6th in this building continues to this day.
Especially as polling shows 46% of Americans think Donald Trump's actions surrounding that day should disqualify him from office. But is that enough for Biden to overcome lagging support among key parts of his base? And how Republicans are painting his time in office.
Trump, he'll make America's economy great.
Trump releasing this new ad Friday.
Mortgage rates low under Trump, punishing under Biden. Under Biden, your investments fell, along with other things.
And with Biden's approval ratings underwater on that and other voter priorities, he's forced to find an issue he hopes will turn the tide. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
That brings us to our question of the day, our national question of the day. Will the events of January 6th in 2021 affect your vote for president this year? So far, 91% of those who have voted say no. You can head to foxbaltimore.com/vote, click on that polls tab to weigh in. The Ravens finish off their regular season today against the Steelers. Even though the Birds are in the playoff, today's game means a bit more than the team would like you to think. Finding out more about that just ahead in Sports Unlimited.
Welcome into your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. When Maryland landed Talia Tungavailoa ahead of the 2020 campaign, the Terps got a quarterback who would help turn the program around and one that would lead them to 3 straight winning seasons. 4 years later, Talia, he's one of the most decorated players in Maryland football history, but his career at College Park has come to an end. After opting out of the team's December 30th bowl game, multiple reports indicate that Tungavailoa has entered the transfer portal. If he does transfer to another program, he would need to get a waiver for that 6th year of eligibility. Tungavailoa holds a handful of program records, ranking first in career passing yards, single-season passing yards, career completions, career passing touchdowns, and single-season touchdowns, just to name a few. If he is granted that 6th year, he would be considered a grad transfer and eligible to play right away. The Ravens have already locked up the AFC's 1 seed and a first-round bye. There's nothing more they can really do in the regular season to affect their seeding in the playoffs. So Saturday's game against Pittsburgh, it's meaningless, right? Well, players would tell you otherwise. Tyler Huntley and other backups that will play will get some meaningful reps ahead of the postseason play. Not only that, it's a chance to send their bitter rival home with a loss, which would end their playoff hopes altogether.
Anytime you can send somebody home, that's one thing. That's one reason why you play the game. But it's just like I said, and there's a rivalry game, so you got to treat that game like you would treat any other rivalry game. And with those guys, like I said, they come out, try to punch you in the mouth, and that's just a tough game I like. So when you got a team like that, man, it's a fun football game. It's a great football game against 2 teams who got a ton of respect for each other, but still want to get down and run.
The Ravens have ruled out 6 players ahead of tonight's game with the Steelers. Lamar Jackson and Odell Beckham Jr., both coaches' decisions. Marlon Humphrey with a calf injury. Malik Harrison, Darryl Worley, and Kevin Zeitler have all been ruled out as well. Patrick Queen, you just heard him speak. He says he's suiting up for the regular season finale. I don't think he'd miss this one for the world. The Ravens have made a series of roster moves, officially signing running back Dalvin Cook to the practice squad, placing defensive back Darryl Worley on injured reserve, and signing linebacker Jeremiah Moon to the 53-man roster. The team has also elevated defensive back Andrew Adams and tight end Ben Mason from the practice squad for tonight's game against the Steelers. In women's basketball action, Towson taking on Elon Tigers, looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. 4th quarter, Patricia Anumba, the bucket, the foul, game-high 15 from her. Later, Kylie Cornegay-Lucas with the step back puts the Tigers up 1. Towson back in the win column with a 58-53 victory. Over at McDonough, some girls basketball action as the Eagles played host to Pilati. Autumn Fleary getting to work early on with a tough take and finish at the rim. Pilati with the lead here, though. Sydney Anthony with the steal, coast to coast for the lay-in, extends the lead a bit, but back the other way. It's Fleary again, getting the shot to go in traffic. Pilati led after 1, but it's the Eagles winning a close one, 52-47. Loyola Blakefield boys and McDonough going head-to-head. Tied at 52 in the 4th. Sam Navarre gets the floater to fall. Dons take the lead. Eagles down 3 with less than 10 seconds to go. Andrew Caston, what you got? Ice in his veins. That's what student section goes bonkers. So we head to overtime. In OT, Rob Fields with a go-ahead bucket for the Eagles as McDonough beats Loyola Blakefield 67-62. And that's going to do it for your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. Thanks for watching and have a great Saturday.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
And this Saturday, we are weather alert. Our Weather Authority team is keeping you updated as we take a live look over a gorgeous look at our Charm City Inner Harbor area. Things are calm, and we're timing out the storm meantime. Good morning to you. It is January 6th. I'm Taylor Stewart, and it's time to talk about your forecast. We've got live team coverage this morning in the studio and on the roads. Right here, a live look at your screen here, our Weather Authority radar showing that system moving on in from the west. And then here at the top of your screen, we've got Olivia Dance live in our Chevy Storm Tracker. She is monitoring those road conditions for you. And in the middle box right there, our Len Stoller mobile track. We'll check in there in just about 10 minutes. But first, we start right here in studio with meteorologist Amy Aronson for a look at our forecast, timing it all out because everything looks pretty decent to me right now.
Yeah, pretty quiet to start, although I do want to show you a nice close-up shot of our radar because I am starting to see the first snow showers pop up here. So you can start to see some white show up on the radar. We've got a couple of snow showers on the Beltway actually traveling towards Towson, a few out towards Eldersburg right now. Nothing significant just yet, but this is just the start of this system as it pushes into our region. Now, in anticipation of this system, we do have a winter storm warning out for Carroll County, area in pink. That will take us through 7 o'clock this evening. Most of the impacts expected there from this system. Some slick spots will develop today. And then we've got a winter weather advisory just east of that through Baltimore County and Harford County. Also expecting some travel concerns there today as that rain snow mix develops and pushes into the region. So here's what this mess means for your travels. It's going to be a sloppy day out there. We've got a mix of everything. Dry, cold, and clear to begin. Rain and snow developing by late this morning through the afternoon. That's going to create some slick spots before that steady rain takes over tonight, also creating some messy roadways. Now we're actually going to head out and about on the roadways this morning with Olivia Dance, who's cruising around in the Chevy Weather Authority Storm Tracker. Good morning, Olivia.
Good morning, Amy. We are on Main Street here in Westminster. The lights here look beautiful, and if we get some snow, it might really look like a winter wonderland, but right now it is dry and quiet here. But this is an area that if we do get this storm that we expect, they will see a good amount of snow. We've seen a lot of snow plows out and about here this morning. I know that the MDOT said that they will definitely have crews around the state, but specifically in areas where they're expecting the most snow, Westminster being one of those. Also on camera, I think you can see it, but there's some lines in the middle of the road. We've been seeing those all over Carroll County, Baltimore County as well, and that is just a sign that they pre-treated these roads with that salt brine mix, and that is just in case it does start to snow or ice or rain. We will make sure that these roads aren't slippery. So they said that they're prepared for this storm. Again, we've seen a lot of those crews out and about this morning. We actually stopped by the MDOT station here in Westminster not too long ago, and we saw them getting those snow plows prepared and ready to go. So we're going to be out here monitoring the road conditions right now, again, in Westminster, and we're going to be driving all around Carroll County, starting to see more cars on the road. So if you are out and about right now, smooth sailing. But if this storm starts to come in, you just want to make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time and taking it slow. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Olivia. Some showers have started some places, but as you can see, those roads are still clear. Stick with us all morning. We will keep you updated. The Maryland State Highway Administration is also warning travelers ahead of this wintry mix. If you're driving, drive slowly, drive cautiously, and make sure you brake early. If you or your vehicle's in trouble, call 911 or 77 for assistance. And of course, stick with Fox 45 Morning News because coming up at 8:30, we've got a live interview with the Maryland State Highway Administration about what to do, how to stay safe, and pitfalls to avoid during inclement weather. And anytime severe weather hits, you can always stay ahead of that storm with your Fox 45 Weather Authority app. It is in your app store right now. All you have to do is search WBFF. Fox 45 News is looking ahead to Wednesday. Lawmakers head back to Annapolis to begin the 2024 legislative session. A frontline concern here, juvenile crime. Police, prosecutors, parents across the state have expressed concerns with the current juvenile justice system. Some of those complaints center around shortfalls within the Department of Juvenile Services, particularly as cities across the region see an increase in juvenile crime. Well, let's begin right there with political analyst John Deedy. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, so Wednesday, we're looking ahead here. As far as juvenile crime goes, we've already seen a lot of legwork A crime town hall hosted by Senate President Bill Ferguson. GOP leaders shared a proposal for juvenile crime back in December. Governor Moore says he has a plan of his own. The details of yet we don't know, but week one, do we begin to see these conversations translate into policy change?
They're going to do something on this, mainly because last year in Baltimore, we had a good year related to the murder rate and some other things, but had problems with juvenile crime. You want to continue to beat down the crime problem. You can't let up on a situation like this. Ivan Bates coming into office changed a lot of dynamics as far as how things were going to be done. And I think there's a lot of momentum to continue the good work that's been done so far. So I think they're going to tweak some of the juvenile justice things that are going on. There's a big momentum to get something done.
To your point, City State Attorney Ivan Bates has partnered up with Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy, and they've come together with a juvenile crime package of proposals to the current laws. How influential do you think voices outside of the chamber will be in amending some of the juvenile crime laws?
These two officials are very popular in their jurisdictions. They are probably the most popular officials in their jurisdictions. So the fact that they're supporting stuff like this is going to go a long way with political leaders and citizens. And I think it's going to be very helpful in getting something done.
All right, quickly switching gears here for maybe a lightning round of some of the state budgetary concerns. The state is facing a looming deficit of possibly $18 billion over the next decade. Cities and school districts, they say they're overwhelmed with the cost of the Kerwin plan. And then we're also talking about the red line, a $1.6 billion proposal. What takes priority?
The priority is going to be basically first trying to shore up the structural deficit that's going on. And this is where one of the problems is. Everyone loves electric vehicles. They're great for energy and all this stuff. The problem is we fund a lot of transportation projects with the gas tax. And the problem is if you have an electric vehicle, you're not going to the gas station. And that's a decline in revenue. This legislature is looking at plans to perhaps put a tax on electric vehicles to make up some of this revenue. So I think you're talking also about a millionaire's tax, increasing tolls. This could be a tax festival increase for the legislature to make up all this lost ground that they're losing in revenue, because you just can't let a structural deficit go through. Plus the fact that there's all these programs you mentioned, Kerwin, et cetera, that there's an expectation that people want something done. And right now the state has a champagne taste, but there's a beer budget.
Ooh, that was a word right there. We've got less than a minute left, so I just want to ask this question. What other things should we be looking out for in this first week that you're taking note of as you kind of work inside and try to talk to folks there?
I think the things I'm going to look for is what's going to be the overall plan the governor has. Because it's all been very secretive. It's been, we're working on it. I'll give them credit. There's been no leaks. There's been no, here's what we're going to do. I think the details in the budget are going to be very important because it's going to be the roadmap, not just for 2024, but if Governor Moore's thinking long-term about running for president, what is the blueprint to get the program started?
All right, a lot to unfold here in the coming weeks, a lot to discuss. We'll definitely have you back. Thank you so much. Political analyst John Dede. The border crisis rages on, and Republicans say they have a solution. Just ahead this morning, why the White House thinks otherwise.
And I am tracking snow showers as they push into our region from the south and west. Find out when we'll see the snow develop, how long it sticks around, and how much we're expecting in just a couple of minutes. It's 8:08. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News. 8:10 on this Saturday. Weather alert today as a winter weather maker moves into our region. First of the season, actually first in quite some time. It's dry and cold right now. If you're waking up wondering where the snow, don't worry, it's coming. At least a little bit if you're north and west of Baltimore by the later half of the morning between 10 and 11 a.m. By midday, we're all dealing with that rain-snow mix. And then, yeah, we're going to wrap up with just steady rain tonight. So it's going to be kind of a yucky end to your Saturday. Tomorrow's better for anything outside. A drier second half of the weekend. We'll start off chilly in the morning, but by the afternoon, I think we make our way into the low 40s with a mix of clouds and sun. Now, coming up in 10 minutes, I do have an updated look at the timeline of today's winter weather maker, and I'll show you exactly how much snow and rain we're expecting too. Taylor?
All right, thanks, Amy. This morning, new video from the Mexico border in Arizona shows a flow of migrants entering the United States illegally through a gap in the border wall. Last month, Border Patrol reported a record number of migrant encounters, but the White House says the Biden administration's policies are not to blame.
You don't take as an administration or as the head of this department any blame for what we're seeing on the border currently?
Brett, the numbers are historic. The numbers are extraordinarily large. This is something that is not specific to the United States' southern border.
The White House says Republicans are standing in the way of a solution to the border problem because they've not approved President Biden's $13 billion budget request for more border-related employees. Republicans want immigration laws strengthened before approving any funding. Maryland's lone Republican Congressman Andy Harris visited the border last week in Texas. On Fox 45 Morning News, he spoke with Tom about what he wants to see.
In the Del Rio sector where I visited, one day at the end of the year, they had 6,000 people enter at just that point. When they do that, they pulled 140 Border Patrol agents from the 240-mile-wide Del Rio sector just to process paperwork, leaving 240 miles unprotected. This is ridiculous. We have to seal off our southern border, and we have to do it as soon as we can.
Well, that brings us to the results that are in from Thursday's national question of the day. We asked, do you approve of how the Biden administration is handling the crisis at the border? More than 12,000 people weighed in. 5% saying yes, 95% saying no. More talk this morning about a possible government shutdown still ahead, where lawmakers in Washington are looking to make some cuts in the budget, and fast. As the war rages on in the Middle East, one Baltimore County mother is living in fear after her son, an IDF soldier, is doxxed on social media. Her message to whoever posted the information. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition, all local, all morning. All right, we are weather alert this morning and keeping you prepared. Our team of meteorologists is tracking the timing of that wintry mix that's heading towards our region. As you can see, it's moving on up and out of the west. As you can see here on the right of your screen, Olivia Dance is live in our Chevy Storm Tracker. She's monitoring those road conditions right now in Carroll County. We have an update from her in the next few minutes. But first, let's begin with meteorologist Amy Aronson for a look at our forecast. What are we expecting to see later this afternoon?
Yeah, that's when things are really going to get messy. Messy is probably the best way to describe today's storm. It's not going to be pure snow. It's going to be a mix of snow, a little bit of ice, and then also that soaking rain to kind of wrap things up. We are seeing the first snow showers develop on radar. You can see them scattered about across the region right now, mainly north of the city. So we've got a couple of heading towards Perry Hall, a few out and about towards Westminster. Nothing really significant just yet, but the first showers arriving in advance of the main winter weather maker. Kind of looks like winter down at the Inner Harbor. It's gray and gloomy and chilly to start, low 30s to begin. Snow showers getting started over the next couple of hours by 10 a.m. at the latest, and then a rain-snow mix will follow by midday. That mix will take us through much of the afternoon, and then we're going to wrap things up with that heavy rain this evening and tonight as this storm departs. Here's a look at that weather maker. It's a big system. It extends from the northern plains all the way down to Florida, actually. Florida getting heavy rain, the northern regions getting snow. We're kind of in the middle here, so we get a little bit of everything from rain to sleet to just some snow, too, depending on where you are. So you'll notice that moisture is filling in and getting closer and closer to us. Now arriving in western parts of Maryland will be next. So our future scan is showing the potential for that rain-snow mix by the end of the morning. By 10 a.m., we get snow to the north of the city. That's the blue stuff. And then we get rain from Baltimore on southward. Looks like that snow will be ongoing if you're just north of the city. So that's when we see the slushy accumulations. If you're south of the city, yeah, most likely it's a chilly rain today, followed by a steady rain this afternoon for everybody. So by 3, 4 o'clock, I think we all say goodbye to the snow, hello to the rain, and this rain will take us through the evening hours and through much of tonight. As that Ravens game is wrapping up later this evening, I think the rain gets out of here too. At that point, temperatures will be in the upper 30s, low 40s, so I don't think you need to worry about too many slick spots from a refreeze at that point. It's tomorrow morning that becomes a concern. So anything that's not cleared away by tomorrow morning will most likely refreeze with temperatures starting off near freezing. And at that point, you'll have to watch out for some leftover slick spots. An updated look at exactly how much snow we're expecting shows not a ton. Highest amounts will be north and west, 1 to 3 towards Westminster, 1 to 2 through Baltimore County, about a trace to an inch, I think, at most through Baltimore, and then most likely rain if you're south of the city. Quick look at that planner shows it's cold and dry right now. Rain and snow gets started by the end of the morning, takes us through the midday hours. This evening, we all switch over to that chilly rain and then heavy rain tonight. That includes if you're headed to the Ravens game. I think mostly rain for that, unfortunately. Pack your poncho. It's going to be a chilly rain with temperatures in the upper 30s through game's end. Weather alert today because of that winter mess that's moving through the region. Just a sloppy day ahead of us. Tomorrow's much better for anything outside. It's going to be breezy and cool with temperatures in the mid-40s. And then milder air actually returns Tuesday and Wednesday with our next weather maker. This one will be all rain, but the potential is shown already for some heavy rain at times late Tuesday heading into Wednesday. Taylor?
Our children have already been targeted. I mean, these kids are experiencing things that none of us, I don't think, ever did.
Well, this morning, 2 Baltimore County women are concerned for their safety after finding pictures and names of their family members posted on social media, calling for their death. FOX45's Vincent Hill spoke with them about their concerns as a federal investigation gets underway.
So imagine you're scrolling through Instagram and you see your son's picture and threats against his life. Well, one mother I spoke with, that's her reality.
As the war continues in Israel,
I was petrified for his safety, for my family's safety.
Terror here at home for 2 Baltimore County women.
We understand that there's a war going on, and we understand that there's people who believe one thing and people who believe something else. But this is a whole other level.
For one,
we are proud Jews. We are extremely proud of our son who volunteered to be an IDF soldier.
Her pride overshadowed by fear after her son's name and picture were posted on Instagram by the account name HC Free Palestine.
From that post, there was then a comment made saying that I would like to meet him, this killer, in person, shoot him, and watch him die a very slow death.
According to the two ladies, the account belongs to a Howard County man who once ran for Howard County Council and sits on the Spending and Affordability Advisory Committee.
There's maybe a little bit more danger in here than we realized.
And it wasn't just one case of doxing by the Instagram account.
I'm looking closer and I'm noticing that 3 of the pictures are kids that I know.
Along with their names and where they live. Fox 45 reached out to the owner of the Instagram account to get his side of things. So far, we have not yet heard back. All of his social media sites have since been made private. Meanwhile, Baltimore County Police, Howard County Police, and the FBI are now investigating.
They were going to be looking into it. They were taking it very seriously, especially in light of the comment that was basically a direct threat to shoot my son.
For now, these two women live in fear.
We're afraid of being targeted. We're afraid of the violence that's been happening.
I am concerned that if I was not anonymous, yes, that my family would be a target.
Now, on Thursday, I did reach out to Calvin Ball, the Howard County executive who appointed the man suspected of posting these posts to Instagram, to get his reaction to this. So far, we have not heard back. In Baltimore, Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
Improvements coming to the Pimlico racetrack next. How it could benefit the state year-round. And another look at our radar this morning as we keep you weather alert. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition. All local, all morning. This morning, Fox 45 Morning News is keeping you weather alert. Our team of meteorologists are tracking the timing of the wintry mix heading towards our region. On the left of your screen, that's that Weather Authority radar system showing that system moving in from the west. Now on the right, a live look at those roads looking calm from our Len Stoller mobile track. What are conditions like where you live, though? You can easily, if you can rather, safely and easily take a picture of winter weather. We want to see it. Go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen. It's going to take you to foxbaltimore.com. You can upload your pictures and videos. It's all powered by Stackla. Some massive improvements could be coming to the Pimlico race course in Baltimore. Take a look at this. Maryland's Thoroughbred Racetrack Operating Authority is proposing a new plan called Pimlico Plus. It would rebuild the track to serve as a major hub for the Maryland racing industry and be used as a source of year-round economic activity. It would include a hotel, event space, development parcels, and parking that can be shared with the surrounding communities. Now, the goal of these improvements are to keep the Preakness Stakes at Pimlico. And check this out, mayhem at Target with scenes reminiscent of Black Friday, and it's all over Target's new Valentine's Day Stanley collection. The Galentine's Day collection is already sold out. Several TikTok videos show people rushing to grab one. Get this, they're $45 cups. They've already been spotted on resale sites like eBay, going upwards of $200 for a cup.
We're live in our Chevy Storm Tracker, keeping an eye out for any snow. I'm Olivia Danson. Coming up next, all the latest on road conditions and storm preparations.
And still ahead, we have a live report from the Maryland State Highway Administration. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. Fox 45 Morning News is keeping you weather alert. A winter weather system is moving into our region as you take a live look over the Inner Harbor. Things they're looking calm, but you could already see a little bit of sprinkles on that camera here. Our team of meteorologists are tracking a mix of rain and snow to start around 10 a.m. this morning. It could impact any weekend plans you have. So thanks for being with us this Saturday, January 6th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's go ahead and get to our live team coverage that we have in the studio and on the roads this morning. On the left of your screen here, our Weather Authority radar shows that system moving in from the west. On the top right, a live look at the roads from our Chevy Storm Tracker. And that middle box is our Lenstoller mobile tracker. We'll check in on the roads in just a few minutes, but for now, we want to start with meteorologist Amy Aronson right here in studio with what we're expecting.
Yeah, keeping a watchful eye on the radar. The storm slow to get started here in the Baltimore area. I am just seeing a couple of flurries showing up on the radar right now, scattered about. We see a couple in northern parts of the state, a few along the Beltway here. Nothing really happening just yet. So we're awaiting the main storm. That's going to push in later this morning and especially this afternoon. Now, out ahead of the storm, we've got warnings and advisories out. The pink is a winter storm warning. That means most of the impacts expected there, the most snowfall expected there. That's in Carroll County through 7 o'clock tonight. That purple's a winter weather advisory, includes Baltimore County through Hartford County, and that's where we could also see some slick spots develop from that mix of rain and snow. So it's not just an all-snow system, it's a mix of everything. Dry and cold to start, so if you've got some errands to run, maybe you want to head to the grocery store, this morning is great to knock that out, because this afternoon is just going to be downright messy. A sloppy situation unfolds, a mix of rain and snow as we head through midday, giving us the yellow light. As we head through the afternoon, that will continue, and eventually we just all switch over to that steady rainfall as the system moves out this evening. So that's going to create its own set of issues on the roadways. Now, coming up in just about 10 minutes, I do have an updated look at the timeline of this storm. I'll let you know exactly when that snow is going to switch over to rain and how much snow we're expecting before that happens too. Taylor? Or actually, Olivia, I keep forgetting that we're heading out to you on the roadways. Olivia is out in the elements this morning. Looks pretty quiet to start, right, Olivia?
Yeah, hey, Amy. Last time you saw us, we were off Main Street, I believe, in Westminster. But now we are heading west. We're heading out towards Manchester. We're actually off of Manchester Road right now. And we saw some snow flurries. It wasn't when we were live, unfortunately, so you guys missed it. But we did see some snow flurries just outside of Westminster. Again, now all quiet and dry out on the roads. You can see those lines in the roads. That's just a sign that they pre-treated the roads with that salt brine mix. So right now we are seeing a good amount of cars out and about, but really the road conditions are smooth sailing. There's not a lot of traffic and everything seems to be safe right now. Again, you can just see that they pre-treated the roads in preparation for this storm. Again, we are heading out west, so we're hoping to run into more snow flurries and continue to track these road conditions for you. But for right now, all quiet. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Olivia. Joining us this morning from MDOT State Highway Safety Administration, Deputy Director of the Office of Communications, Charlie Gischler. Good morning to you, Charlie.
Good morning.
Now, we're looking at the roads right now. Everything seems to look pretty clear, but we know that situation could change. At any time severe weather hits, there's the possibility for more crashes. What are some pitfalls drivers need to look out for today?
Yeah, the Maryland State Highway Administration maintains the state numbered routes. So, yeah, the big interstates, the U.S. routes, and the state numbered routes. So watch it when it starts to precipitate, like winter precipitation, sleet, freezing rain, and snow on the elevated sections of roadway. That's bridges, ramps, overpasses. They freeze first. We did go out and pre-treat, and we're out now in Western Maryland where we are in full winter operation, and that is moving our way. But this storm also is going to have a water component to it, heavy rains and high winds later on. So if you come across an intersection that's affected, if the power is affected to the intersection and it's not functioning, everybody has to treat it as a four-way stop. We also, for the winter operations, have learned from best practices from 2010 to pre-position those heavy-duty wreckers in areas that have a history of hanging up tractor-trailers, like Braddock Mountain up in Frederick County. And we did, in fact, do that with our contractor. So if a tractor-trailer does get hung up, that effectively shuts the interstate down. So we're able to get there quickly and pull it off the side of the road. So a couple of little tidbits for you there.
Thank you for that. I know you mentioned as the snow possibly transitions into rain, the concern there could be some of the freezing on the roadways. As folks get out there today and maybe have plans going to the Ravens game, what would your caution be to them?
Go to the website, roads.maryland.gov first, and click on that banner we have up there for winter weather. That'll give you our storm app, statewide transportation operations resource map. That shows you where all of our equipment is currently and where they've been in the last 30 minutes. So you can make a plan to go on a road that's been treated recently. Also, you have access to all the traffic cameras and a real-time incident page there that shows if there's anything in your way. But biggest thing I can say is if you got to go out, make sure your vehicle's winter ready with good tires, and just be patient. Give yourself plenty of time, never be in a rush.
We'll leave it right there. Charlie Gischler from the Maryland State Highway Safety Administration. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anytime severe weather hits, you can stay ahead of that storm with our Fox 45 Weather Authority app. Just search WBFF in your app store.
The national debt topped $34 trillion this week. I'm Kayla Gaskins. Coming up, a look at one big contributing factor critics say could be totally avoidable.
And some showers are starting to inch their way into Maryland right now. I've got an updated look at exactly when we'll see some snow showers develop and how long the snow sticks around today in just a couple of minutes. It's 8:35. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News. On this Saturday morning, we are weather alert because we're tracking a winter weather maker. I know it's quiet right now. If you're waking up wondering where the snow is, just wait. We are expecting snowfall to develop by the end of the morning between 10 and 11 a.m. And then I am tracking that messy rain-snow mix through early this afternoon. Heaviest amounts of snowfall will be seen north and west of Baltimore. So Carroll County expecting 1 to 3 inches potentially there. We are expecting the snow showers to get started late this morning. Then that mix unfolds this afternoon. Unfortunately, it's all going to change over to a chilly rain as this system gets out of here late this afternoon and this evening. Now, we do have to watch out for the potential refreeze tomorrow morning. Any liquid left behind on surfaces will freeze up with temperatures starting right around freezing. Tomorrow afternoon looks calmer, just a mix of clouds and sun, and temperatures back in the low 40s. Now, coming up in just a little bit, I'll take you through an updated look at the timeline of this storm, and I've also got an updated look at exactly how much snow we're expecting all across the region. Taylor?
Well, as U.S. lawmakers debate cuts to government spending, some critics argue one big expense could be totally avoidable. National correspondent Kayla Gaskins has the story.
When lawmakers return to Washington next week, they have their work cut out for them. Top of the list, passing a budget and avoiding a government shutdown.
We've got to get our fiscal house in order here.
Republicans continuing to push for government spending cuts, sticking with the main party priority of tackling the ballooning national debt.
Ultimately, it's making us weaker and weaker as a country to have so much debt. The interest payments are climbing, now becoming the largest item in our budget is going to be interest.
Earlier this week, the debt clock ticked past the $34 trillion mark for the first time. When President Biden took office, the debt sat at $27 trillion. And despite adding $7 trillion to the national debt while in control of the White House, Biden Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Republicans are to blame.
There's a trickle-down debt, if you think about it. Republican tax cuts are responsible for about 90% of it, of the increase in the debt as a share of the economy over the last 2 decades.
Meanwhile, waste continues across government agencies. Just the News reporting $236 billion of improper payments were made in fiscal year 2023 alone. That data coming from the nonpartisan Government Accountability Office. The Heritage Foundation's Richard Stern points out that number is nearly $70 billion more than American agriculture contributes to the annual GDP.
The government improperly pays out more money than the annual productivity of every farm in the country combined. It's mind-boggling.
Most of these mistakes reportedly come from Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security.
That's not a capture of corruption. It's not a capture of what we would describe as inappropriate uses of the government. That is just where the government made a mistake with how they spent them.
In the past 20 years, these improper payments have cost U.S. taxpayers $2.4 trillion. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
We are keeping you weather alert this morning. A live look at our Weather Authority HD radar and our Lynn Stoller mobile track. We'll keep you updated. Stick with Fox 45 Morning News. And if you're staying inside due to the weather, try your hand at making some Ravens pancakes ahead of the game. We'll show you how to do it next. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. Fox 45 Morning News is keeping you weather alert as our team of meteorologists track that next weather maker. We're timing out a wintry mix heading towards our region, as you can see right there on the left of your screen through our Weather HD radar system. Here on the right, we're taking a live look at the roads in our Chevy Storm Tracker. In just a few minutes, we'll have a live update on those road conditions as we get underway. Let's go ahead and start with meteorologist Amy Aronson to see how things are shaping up where we are.
Yeah, I want to start off with the radar. We are seeing a couple of snow showers starting to pop up now. A few actually in Baltimore County. So Towson and Cockeysville seeing a couple of snow showers develop there. Otherwise, the radar looks really quiet while we wait on this Maine winter weather maker. Looking gray and gloomy down at M&T Bank Stadium, where, of course, that big game's happening later this afternoon. Right now, it looks pretty quiet, but I have a feeling we'll see more and more fans head that way, especially as the morning and the afternoon continues. It's cold out there currently. Low 30s to start under cloudy skies. Snow is expected to get started later this morning, and then a rain-snow mix develops by midday. After that, we're going to start to see that transition from snow to rain for most. And by this afternoon and this evening, yeah, we're going to wrap this storm system up with a very heavy rainfall. And here's the reason why. We've got this storm system moving in. Snow on the north, rain on the south. Now, we're right in the middle of this system, so we're going to see everything, especially as some milder air eventually takes over. But I think we will start off with some snow showers, especially if you're just north of Baltimore. See that pink stuff? That would be some ice. We're going to throw that in too, and then some rain on the southern side of things. Our future scan shows all the colors moving into Maryland. If you are north of Baltimore, most likely an ice snow to start. That will last through about midday. After that, we start to see that transition over to rain. If you're south of the city, it's going to be pure rain, not much in terms of snow at all. You'll notice we all pretty much switch over to that soaking rain by 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. And then as the game continues at M&T Bank Stadium, whole system gets out of here by 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Now, tomorrow morning, colder air is going to sweep in. Winds are going to pick up. Anything that isn't cleared most likely is going to refreeze. So be prepared for some leftover slick spots to start. And then things actually look pretty quiet here as we head through the afternoon and the rest of the day. Just a little breezy as that sun gradually returns again by the end of the weekend. So here's a fresh look at exactly how much snow we're expecting. It's not a ton. We've got mostly rain to the south here. If you're in Baltimore, a trace to an inch tops. Just north of the city, a quick 1 to 2 inches before we change over to rain, and then higher amounts north and west. I think that's where we're aiming for 1 to 3 inches. But remember, it's snow to start, and then it's rain to end. So any of that snow that happens to accumulate, most likely just washed away later tonight. So we have it all today. We've got that rain-snow mix through much of the afternoon before switching over to a heavy rain this evening. If you're headed out to M&T Bank Stadium, pack the poncho. It's going to be a mess out there. We've got that chilly rain throughout the game and temperatures in the upper 30s. Weather alert today because of that mess, the winter mix that's moving into our region. Tomorrow looks better for outdoor plans, a breezy end to your weekend. And then we've got another weather maker coming on Tuesday, this one with milder air, so it will be an all rain maker, but we could be tracking some heavy rain at times at that point. Now we're actually going to head out and see how Hagerstown is looking. Meteorologist Jordan Evans with our Sinclair sister station in Washington, D.C. joins us now. Can you tell us where you are, Jordan? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. And as Amy described, all of the above in terms of winter weather types today. We are actually on our way to Hagerstown, probably a couple hours out still, but we're currently in Winchester, Virginia. So Western Virginia, about an hour and a half south of the Hagerstown metro. We've actually been dealing now with freezing rain for about an hour or so. As these temperatures, I'll turn the camera around, you can see it's wet roads, no snowflakes right now, but the temperature on our dashboard, it's at 30 degrees. So any of that rain that falls and surfaces that are frozen, like bridges, overpasses, they will freeze first. And that will be the case across northern Maryland too, if we get some of that freezing rain. So that's why those slick spots will continue for parts of the area early on until those temperatures warm, as Amy mentioned, back up into the low 40s, even upper 30s as well later today. So we'll be in Hagerstown later this morning and this afternoon to hopefully track some good snow showers later this afternoon. Back to you.
Well, remember, anytime severe weather hits, you can stay ahead of the storm with our Fox 45 Weather Authority app. All you got to do, search WBFF in your app store. But hey, it is a good time to maybe stay indoors with the Ravens clinching that #1 spot in the AFC, the storm, the matchup later today. Yes. You might need to fuel up on maybe some Ravens-fueled pancakes. Joining us this morning with the Purple Pride Pancakes corporate executive chef, Zuri Coles from Miss Shirley. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
You've got quite the spread here. A lot to talk about, but let's jump in first with our Ravens pancakes.
Yes, super excited. Our Ravens playoffs pancakes. We did a banana chocolate chip pancake and then had some fun with some purple whipped cream. We got some custom purple candies with the number 8 and some footballs and Ravens on there. And then we have some sprinkles as well. So, you know, just fun. especially on a gloomy day.
Absolutely. Give the kids a sugar high, especially for the game.
These pancakes will start at all of our locations, Inner Harbor, Roland Park, and our Annapolis location starting tomorrow morning.
Starting tomorrow morning. So we're rooting for this win today so we can get our taste tomorrow. But you guys have several other specials going on right now, too.
We do. For January, we're having our multigrain and buckwheat pancakes topped with vanilla yogurt, blueberries, and house-made granola. So a little bit on the lighter, healthier side. We made a homemade banana bread and turned it into French toast, topped with bananas and chocolate chips. And then we brought back one of our favorites, a hot brown, which is a great warm lunch option.
Well, since the Ravens pancakes kick off tomorrow morning, it's going to be a mess today. You probably have the kids in, you got yourself. How can we do this at home? Is there a way we can do this at home?
Sure, you can take whatever ingredients you like to throw inside your pancakes, pull out those sprinkles from Christmas or whatever leftover candies you have, and let the kids have a little fun putting all their own toppings on top.
All right. Yeah. Well, we're going to try to taste these for now. But this is over at Miss Shirley's. We're going to keep you weather alert here all morning long, so stick with us as Fox 45 Morning News continues. Another live look at our Weather Authority radar as it moves in. Fox 45 is weather alert this morning. We're gearing up for a wintry mix to bring some rain and snow to our region. You're taking a live look at our Weather Authority HD radar, which shows the system moving in from the west. As our team of meteorologists predict the rain and snow will begin sometime around 10 this morning. Stick with Fox 45 Morning News as we keep you up to date with the latest. All right, topping your consumer news now. Microsoft is adding an AI button to its keyboards moving forward. Microsoft is starting this month. Some new PCs that run their operating system Windows will get a special Copilot key. The button will launch Microsoft's AI chatbot. Starbucks is expanding its personal cup policy. The coffee chain now has added the reusable cup option to drive-through and app orders. Previously, it was only available for orders made in person, but in drive-through lines, customers still have to tell the barista they've got their own cup when they order. The changes are part of a movement to shift away from single-use plastics. Mountain Dew is making one of its most popular drinks available nationwide. They're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Baja Blast. The drink's going to be sold at stores across the country this year. Until now, it was sold exclusively at Taco Bell and seasonally at some stores. All right, now it's time to get over to America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Noki.
Not today, man. Dead car batteries. Every single time you're trying to get out of the house on time, be someplace, it happens. That click, click, click. Or you're on the side of the road on a gray, cold, dark day like today. It's never fun, but I have the answer for you. It's called the Jump Smart, and it can get you back on the road quickly. Watch this. Plug the two alligator clips in right here. Red clamp to red on the battery. Black to black. I get a beep and a green light, and now I can start my car back up. Just like that. I don't have to wait for roadside assistance or anybody else to come and help me out. I keep a Jump Smart in every family member's car. My daughters have one, my wife has one, and I know I have peace of mind, and so do they. It's also a 10-in-1 tool. It's got a compass, a thermometer, it's a flashlight and a strobe light, many other tools as well. And my favorite part, you can charge your cell phone with the two included USB ports on the back. If you lose power in a storm or something, just plug your phone in and you can stay connected with family and friends. Speaking of them, put one in every family member's car. 31% off right now at asadeals.com.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. You hear it right there. Weather alert this morning as winter weather moves into our region. You're looking live over the Inner Harbor as we're off to a calm start, but our team of meteorologists is expecting that wintry mix of snow and rain to begin around 10 o'clock this morning. It could impact your weekend plans. Thanks for being with us this Saturday, January 6th. This plan is still in motion. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's go ahead and start with our live team coverage, both here in studio and on the roads this morning. On the left of your screen, a live look at our Weather Authority radar shows that system moving on in from the west. There on the top of your screen, Olivia Dance is live in our Chevy Storm Tracker for a check of the roads. The middle box there shows our Lens Solar mobile track. We'll check in just a few minutes. But let's start here in studio with meteorologist Amy Aronson for a look at our forecast. Amy, it looks nice outside right now, but that is going to change.
Yeah, exactly. We've gotten a slow start with this system, but it's coming. You can actually see it showing up on the radar now. We've got one batch of snow showers actually approaching Bel Air. We've got more snow showers heading towards Westminster and Manchester. So that's the start of this system streaming in from the west here. Once it gets started, just a messy rest of the day expected. Now, in advance of the winter weather, we've already got a winter storm warning posted. That's for Carroll County. That will take us through 7 o'clock this evening. Highest amounts of snowfall expected there. If you're in the purple, that's a winter weather advisory. Travel impacts also expected, just not as much in terms of snow in that region. That also continues until 7 o'clock. So if you're out and about traveling right now, you're in great shape. Now's the time to kind of knock out your stuff for the day, because after that, things are going to get messy and sloppy. We've got that rain-snow mix developing by 10, 11 a.m., taking us through the afternoon, and then a steady rain actually to wrap things up this evening and for the first part of tonight. Now we actually are going to head out and about on the roads with Olivia Dance, who keeps asking me, where's the snow? Olivia, it is heading your direction shortly. I know you're not seeing much of anything right now except the clouds.
Yeah, hey, Amy, I know that you said the start of the storm is going to be in Westminster, Manchester area, and that's exactly where we are. We're in Manchester right now. We just came from Westminster, and actually on the way here, we did see some snow flurries, but it was very short-lived, and you couldn't even really see them on camera. It was just a few, but we did see a little bit of snow, and that sky is starting to look more cloudy. I mean, in Westminster, it was actually still blue sky, so this is a good sign for snow, but yeah, we've been driving around and haven't seen too much yet. But as far as the roads, I mean, there's cars out and about this morning, but we haven't seen any traffic hazards or anything like that. We have seen a ton of snow plows out and about, though, especially here out west, because we know they're supposed to get the most of the storm. We can also see that they have pre-treated the roads here as well. So, of course, when this storm does start to hit, you want to make sure that you're taking it slow, whether it's rain or snow, and just make sure that you're aware. But, again, we are seeing a lot of snow plows out and about on the roads. Back to you guys.
All right, well, Olivia is in the thick of where it will begin, so we'll check back in with her. Maryland State Highway Administration is also warning travelers ahead of the wintry mix. Make sure you drive with some extra caution today. Drive slowly and make sure you brake early. If your vehicle is in trouble, you can call 911 or 77 for assistance. And of course, anytime severe weather hits, you can stay ahead of the storm as long as you have that FOX45 Weather Authority app. It is in your app store. All you have to do is search WBFF. All right, happening today. Today marks 3 years since the Capitol riot that threatened Congress and interrupted certifying the 2020 election. A lot has happened in the aftermath of that historical attack on the nation's capital. Mitch Bletcher with our Sinclair affiliate in D.C. joins us now with a look at what's changed since that momentous day and who's being held accountable.
January 6th is now one of those historic dates forever marked by American history. The bipartisan January 6th Congressional Committee concluded this video shows the start of the violence. Capitol Police try to hold the line but are forced to retreat. The Capitol Dome's camera watches rioters break through the barricade. Videos posted on social media show those approaching, carrying bats and wearing body armor. Police body cameras capture law enforcement's experience 3 years ago. At 1:49 p.m., an out-of-breath officer broadcasts on police radio.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
Police can't contain the crowd. Inside, rioters overwhelm officers. More than 400 have been charged with assaulting police, 120 with weapons. The Capitol Police try to evacuate Congress. They barricade the House chamber's door. Guns are drawn. Outside,
we need to have the doors of the Capitol.
it's a melee.
Get him up!
More than 1,200 defendants have been arrested in the 36 months since all this video was captured. The defendants are from every state in the Union and the District of Columbia.
Much work has been done to hold members of the mob responsible for the crimes they committed.
The U.S. attorney in charge of those prosecutions continues bringing charges, but he doesn't want any single case to distract from the bigger picture. This is the first time in American history we've failed to have a peaceful transition of power.
It is critical, though, that we remember the collective harm that was done on January 6, 2021, and understand how it happened so that we can ensure it never happens again.
The scope of this work is unmatched in American history. Even with more than 1,000 arrests made and 900 convictions, the FBI is still trying to identify dozens of suspects seen in hundreds of videos from the Capitol. 7 are on the FBI's most wanted list. Investigators know 6 of their names. They include Evan Newman and Paul Belosic, both with ties to California. Jonathan Daniel Pollock, Olivia Michelle Pollock, and Joseph Daniel Hutchinson III all have ties to the Carolinas, Texas, and Central Florida. Adam Villarreal may be in California, Oregon, Washington State, or Oklahoma. And police don't know this man's name yet. He was seen dropping pipe bombs around Capitol Hill the night of January 5th. 3 years after the attack, more than half of the 1,235 people charged in the Capitol attack have been sentenced. Among them are members of far-right extremist groups, former police officers, an Olympic gold medalist, and active duty Marines. Some have served their sentences. Arizona's Jacob Chansley, who used to call himself the QAnon shaman, spent 27 months in prison. He's now in a Phoenix halfway house and has filed paperwork to run for Congress. The longest prison terms so far have gone to Henry Tarrio and Stuart Rhodes. The former Proud Boys leader is serving 22 years, the Oath Keepers founder 18 years, both for seditious conspiracy. Prosecutors and a bipartisan congressional investigation found the insurrection was a planned attack led and amplified by extremist groups. The congressional investigation found that many of the first people inside the Capitol, they rallied right here in, ironically, what is called Peace Circle. This monument, it was put up after the Civil War. Americans at that time wanted to remind their descendants about their grief in the hopes that we would not repeat it. The U.S. Capitol, I'm Mitch Blocker.
Now, Capitol Police say volunteers continue to show support to them. While police departments across the country are short-staffed, the U.S. Capitol Police Force has just 3 openings right now. In the midst of the aftermath of that day, a former U.S. Capitol Police officer who was on duty during the attack says he wants to go back to the Hill, but this time as a member of Congress. Harry Dunn announced he is running for Maryland's 3rd congressional district seat. Last month, he resigned from the Capitol Police Force, and he's been publicly outspoken about the violence he and other members of law enforcement experienced during the insurrection. For his service, he was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal and the Presidential Citizens Medal for his bravery during the attack. Changes could be coming to the Pimlico racetrack. Next, the plan that could put the track at the center of Maryland racing.
And here's a quick updated look at what one forecast model is predicting from today's storm. As you can see, not a ton of snowfall, highest amounts towards Westminster, 1 to 3 inches expected there. I've got an updated look at our snow map for the system and what we'll see today in just a couple of minutes. It's 9:08, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News. 11 on this Saturday. Weather alert Saturday as a winter storm moves into the region. Right now, most locations aren't seeing much of anything. We're seeing a couple of snow showers develop, and that will continue over the next couple of hours. By 10, 11 a.m., we should see some snow showers, especially north of Baltimore, and then a mix develops by midday. So we're tracking that rain-snow mix through the afternoon, and then eventually just a chilly rain for everybody as the storm system pushes out of here. As the rain develops later this evening, winds will also pick up, and eventually the moisture moves out, but anything left behind on the streets, on the sidewalks, will most likely freeze back up, so be prepared for some slick spots early tomorrow, and then tomorrow looks much drier with temperatures in the low 40s. Coming up in a couple of minutes, I'll walk you through the updated timeline, let you know exactly when that snow switches over to rain and how much snowfall we'll see across our region today. Taylor?
All right, well, some massive improvements could be coming to the Pimlico racetrack in Baltimore. Now take a look at this. According to the Maryland Thoroughbred Racetrack Operating Authority, the new plan is called the Pimlico Plus. It would rebuild the racetrack to serve as a hub of Maryland racing, and it would be used as a source of year-round economic activity. It would include a hotel, event space, development parcels, and parking that would be shared with surrounding communities. The goal of these improvements are to keep the Preakness Stakes at Pimlico. A scary situation in the air. Part of a plane just falls off mid-flight. The incredible video inside that plane just ahead. And live out your dreams of becoming a superhero or a fairy tale. Next, the popular activities you can take part in for the annual Fairy Tale and Superhero Festival in Harford County. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. All right, this morning we are a weather alert as we gear up for a wintry mix, bringing rain and snow to our region. You're looking at our live Weather Authority HD radar, which shows that system moving in from the west. We've already got some flurries out there. Let's go ahead and get over to meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at where those areas are being impacted most right now.
Yeah, we're starting to see the first snow showers work their way in from west to east. So we are seeing a couple about the Westminster area currently. They're scattered about in northern parts of Baltimore and then some towards Bel Air too. If you're south of that, down towards Baltimore, most likely not seeing much of anything just yet. But that's going to change. This is just the start. started, this system moving in. Looks pretty quiet in the city right now, so if you're getting ready to head down to M&T Bank Stadium extra early this morning, just kind of cloudy and chilly out there. Mid-30s to begin. That snow should continue to get started as we head through the second half of the morning. I am tracking that rain-snow mix by midday pretty much everywhere, and then a heavy rain develops everywhere late this afternoon through early this evening. So it's a quick hitting system. Here's a look at where it is right now. We've got snow on the northern edge of it, rain to the south. We're right in the middle. That means we're going to see a mix of everything, especially to get started. We've got the blue, that's the snow showers. The pink, that would be some ice, and then the green would be some rain. And you can see all these colors are just starting to arrive in Maryland, first in western parts of the state, and then I think we're next in line. First in our northern counties, that's where we'll see the snow and the ice develop over the next couple of hours, so between 10, 11 a.m., and then that mix takes over through midday. You'll notice as early as 2, 3 o'clock, we're already switching over to that heavy rain. That's the yellows and oranges and even reds you're seeing here on Future Scan. So we wrap up this system with some heavy rain, some gusty winds as that area of low pressure tracks through our region, and then we'll dry things out rather quickly late tonight. So by the time that Ravens game is wrapping up, I think all of this is moving out of here. Behind it, it's going to stay windy overnight through tomorrow morning. Any moisture left behind tomorrow morning that's not treated most likely will be slick because temperatures will drop back below freezing. By the afternoon, though, we will enjoy lots of sunshine. Just a little breezy and chilly out there for the second half of your weekend. So here's a look at exactly what we're expecting, how much snow we're expecting today. Only about a trace to an inch in the Baltimore area. I think it's brief, and then we change over to rain. 1 to 2 inches if you're just north of the city, 1 to 3 before changing over to rain in Carroll County and northern Baltimore County. Now, if you're south of the city, down towards Anne Arundel County, Eastern Shore, yeah, most likely just a chilly rainfall there today. So once the rain-snow mix gets started over the next couple of hours, that will take us through the midday hours. And then this afternoon, we all switch over to that chilly rain, soaking rain at times as we head through the evening tonight. Soaking rain will be the setup at M&T Bank Stadium. It's going to be a sloppy mess out there. More rain than snow, I think, and chilly temperatures too, with temperatures hanging out close to 40 and in the upper 30s. So because of that messy mix today, we're under weather alert through tonight. Tomorrow looks quieter. Once we get through the morning and the potential of the refreeze, it's breezy and it's dry, temperatures in the mid-40s. We are tracking a warming trend this week. As a new weather maker moves in on Tuesday, it will be a pure rainmaker, but it is going to send us the potential for some heavy rain at times as we head through Tuesday afternoon. Taylor?
All right, well, switching gears here. Break out your cape or your tiara. Why not your magic wand? Because the annual Fairy Tale and Superhero Festival is back at the Harford County Public Library. Joining us this morning with more information, the CEO, Harford County Library, Mary Hassler. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and I can't believe we're actually here on a snow day.
I know.
We get to see behind the scenes how you all operate.
And this is the first week of the year, too, so we're really starting off strong. But,
I agree.
But I'm really curious. Okay. Why a superhero day? Why do you guys hold a day to recognize superheroes?
Well, you know, we have so many heroes in our communities, our community helpers, from healthcare to our military to everyone who does so much to keep us safe. So we launched this a few years ago, started with fairy tale characters, because of course we're a library, and there's so many fairy tale characters out there. And then we expanded to superheroes. It's a great opportunity for all ages to come. You can channel your inner superhero if you wish, or you can come as a book character, and it's so much fun. It's this Friday on January 12th.
I was going to ask.
8:30 to 5. And the best part about it is watching the little ones come in their costumes. And of course, adults can get dressed up too.
I was going to say,
definitely.
because I was like, you know, if I come, I'm going to want to do what you do and put a little bit of a...
You got to add the boots.
Exactly. Okay. You've got the boots, you've got the earrings. So adults can come. It's
absolutely
this Friday. Give us the time again.
8:30 to 5. Okay. And additional information is at hcplonline.org, our website. And it goes all day. There's so many activities planned.
Give me an idea of some of them.
Okay, well, we have celebrity readers. So, for example, our General Major Edmondson from Aberdeen Proving Grounds will be there. He is fabulous to watch because he will wear his full outfit, or uniform, I guess, and he is a superhero, and the kids are just mesmerized listening to him. And then, of course, we have our school superintendent, Dr. Sean Bolston, who was just nominated or awarded the School Superintendent of Maryland of the Year.
True, yes.
So he will be there. We have Elizabeth Wise, who's the president and CEO of Upper Chesapeake Health System, and so many others. Our county executive has been invited to participate too.
This is really an event.
It's
an event of
huge
superheroes.
Yes. And also our fairy tale characters.
Absolutely.
And it's all about introducing our kids to books, to literacy, and developing those early and pre-literacy skill building so that they're successful in school. Plus, we make it fun. We always make it fun at Hartford County Public Library, whatever we do. So it is
and
amazing.
that's so important. I think, you know, when you talk about kids and the need for increased literacy, you've got to bring it to them where they are, right?
You do, and you have to make it fun. You have to make it fun for mom and dad or our caregivers so that they take these tools home and model them when they're reading the books to their kids. And of course, my favorite book, if I was reading, and I'm not reading, I'm a fill-in, stand-in, would be Brown Bear by Bill Martin and Eric Carle.
Okay.
My 6-year-old grandson, William, we used to read that all the time.
Did you do the voices?
Oh, always. Okay. Oh, and I acted out. As you can tell, I like to act out too. So
I grew up in a reading family as well. My dad used to always say, you learn to read, you read to learn, and then learn to read.
That is
learn to read,
to learn. That is, your dad's a very smart man.
Yes.
Tell him.
But Mary, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming by. Lots of great events happening in Hartford County, especially at the library this time of year. So we want to bring you guys back as well.
Well, thank you very much. Your public libraries are truly jewels in our state of Maryland. So come on out. It's free to everyone, and we'll see you next week.
All right, superhero on. All right, we are the weather alert this morning. We're making sure you are ready and prepared for the storm. Here's a live look at our Weather Authority radar, and we'll give you that update. But if you're driving, remember, slow down. Winter weather's on the way. The list of places you need to check off before you start that car. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition, all local, all morning. Fox 45 is weather alert this morning as we gear up for that wintry mix headed our way. We're expecting some snow and some rain as you look live at our Weather Authority radar, which shows the system making its way here. Our meteorologists are predicting the rain and snow will get underway in about 30 minutes. We've already seen some spots with some snow showers pop up, so stick with us here for the most up-to-date information. If you do have to get out on the roads, though, during the winter weather, here are some tips you want to be aware of as you drive to your destination. AAA says the first thing you need to do is make sure your tires are in good shape.
So you want to make sure you have good depth in your tires. because once they start wearing down, the water or the snow will not dissipate, and you could hydroplane. When it's snowing, you won't have the traction that you need.
Experts also say drive defensively, making sure you're giving yourself enough space behind the car in front of you. So you have to stop, make sure you don't have to brake too quickly. Also, make sure that gas tank is full, because in the cold weather, your tank could actually freeze if it's too low. Check to make sure your windshield wipers are in good condition, as well as have a fully charged cell phone or a car charger in case you get stuck for a long period of time. Keep some extra warm clothing stocked in your car, and of course, stock your car with water and food. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Passengers on an Alaska Airlines flight heading to California got the shock of a lifetime. The window on this 737 MAX 9 plane just popped off 20 minutes into the flight. 171 passengers and 6 crew members were on board. No one was seriously injured, but the plane was able to make its way back safely to Portland, where it departed from. The FAA says the aircraft got its airworthiness certificate in October of last year. The Airline and National Transportation Safety Board say they are investigating what happened, but in the meantime, Alaska Airlines says it's grounded its fleet of 737 MAX 9 planes. Just ahead, we're looking ahead to the first day of the legislative session, and the big concern here, juvenile crime. The personnel changes now happening within the Department of Juvenile Services. And we are keeping you weather aware as we are weather alert this morning. A live look at our radar and the roads. We'll be back with an update just ahead. Stick with Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
9:30 now, and we are keeping you weather alert and weather aware as that winter storm moves into our region. You're looking now over the Inner Harbor, where things are off to a pretty calm start, but our team of meteorologists are expecting a mix of snow and rain to begin in the next half hour, if not already. We'll tell you how it could impact your weekend plans. Thanks for being with us. It's Saturday, January 6th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's go ahead and get to our team coverage here in studio and on the roads this morning. Looking live at the left of your screen, that's the Weather Authority HD radar showing the system moving in from the west. There at the top right of your screen, we've got Olivia Dance in Westminster. She's checking in on those roads from an MDOT facility. The middle box here is our Len Stoller mobile track, and we'll check in with them in just a few minutes to get an update on those road conditions. But we start here in studio. Meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at our forecast. You've been timing it all out. What do you see on your maps?
Yeah, finally starting to see some changes. Things have been slow to get started, but we're now officially seeing snow showers in the Westminster area. You can see that white moving into that area. That's the start of it. So some snow showers now pushing into Carroll County. The rest of us still looking pretty quiet. Couple of flurries scattered about here in northern parts of Maryland, but most are still dry if you are south towards the Baltimore region. But that's just the start of this winter weather maker. We've got a winter storm warning posted for that area that's starting to see the snow showers first. Highest impacts will be seen there today because that's where we're tracking the most snowfall potential. If you're in the purple area, winter weather advisory. I think still some travel issues and some slick spots will unfold as that rain snow mix unfolds later this morning heading into the afternoon. So here's what you can expect for your road conditions. Now we are starting to see some snow showers develop as expected right around 10-11 a.m. That will take us through the midday hours, and then we all transition over to that steady rain this afternoon. That's going to create another set of issues. Heavy rain is going to create issues on the roads and lead to some messy conditions through the first part of tonight. So remember that if you are traveling to or from the Ravens game later tonight. Now, Olivia Dance has been hanging out in Carroll County all morning long, and I think you're finally, hopefully, seeing some snow showers. Right, Olivia?
Yeah, hey, Amy, we are starting to see some snow. It's kind of a rainy snow mix. I don't even know if you can really see it so much on camera, but you can see my jacket's a little bit wet. We have now stepped out of the Chevy Storm Tracker, and we're at the MDOT facility here in Westminster. The employees here are prepared, though. They have their windshield wipers up. A ton of cars here have those on. I'm prepared as well with my snow hat and my gloves. Definitely want to pack those if you're heading out today. But as I said, we're at the MDOT facility here. You can see some of the snow plows are getting prepared. They're kind of coming in and out of this facility all morning, filling up their trucks with salt, and then they're going out on the roads and pre-treating them. So most of the roads that we were driving on earlier this morning in the Chevy Storm Tracker, you could tell were pre-treated. You can tell because the roads have those lines on them. So that's a great thing because, you know, as the snow starts to come in and eventually it turns to rain, the roads hopefully won't be too slick and driving conditions will be okay. So again, they're busy out here. Up until this point, we've actually seen more snow plows out on the roads than snow, but we finally found the snow, so that's exciting. But again, if you are going to be heading out and about today, make sure you pack those gloves, snow hat, jacket, and make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Olivia. Definitely a little bit of precipitation out there we can see. You can stay ahead of the storm before it hits with that Fox 45 Weather Authority app. If you don't have it already, go ahead and get it. It's in your app store. Just search WBFF. Fox 45 News is looking ahead to Wednesday as lawmakers head back to Annapolis to begin the 2024 legislative session. A frontline concern, juvenile crime, as police, prosecutors, and parents have expressed concerns throughout the state with the current juvenile justice system. Some of those complaints center around shortfalls within the Department of Juvenile Services, particularly as cities across the region see an increase in juvenile crime. This morning, Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost is breaking down several examples of issues within the Department of Juvenile Services. Take a look.
In November, this violent assault was caught on home surveillance video.
They didn't even give me a chance for me to give them whatever they wanted. They just jumped on me and started pushing me and punching me and stuff.
The suspects, 12 and 14 years old. Baltimore police detaining the teens, bringing them here to the Baltimore Juvenile Justice Center. But they were released to their parents. Then this letter was sent to BPD and the Department of Juvenile Services Secretary Vincent Schiraldi, raising questions about why the teens were released. The authors of the letter, Senate President Bill Ferguson, Delegate Luke Clippinger, who also chairs the House Judiciary Committee, and others. Fast forward to now, Fox 45 News confirming with DJS, the intake director at the BCJJC, replaced. As of December 21st, an acting director took over. The personnel changes, in line with what Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates says is a culture Secretary Schiraldi is dealing with inside the department.
I believe, talking to Secretary Schiraldi, he really gets it.
but I also think that he's dealing for culture and DJS, where you have individuals who just don't want to ever, no matter what young people do, ever want to have a young person detained. So he's fighting that culture.
Friday, Fox 45 News sending questions to DJS asking, what are the job qualifications required for intake employees? How many intake employees work at each DJS facility? Is that considered fully staffed? What's the ideal staffing level? We also asked to see copies of the intake forms used and for a copy of the written intake protocols. Meanwhile, there remains to be questions about how cases are prosecuted.
Currently, they act as a bit of a gatekeeper because it's their intake officers who are making the decision whether the case should be charged immediately or should be charged later, but still charged, or even not charged at all.
Catherine Rosenblatt is the deputy chief of the Juvenile Division in the City State's Attorney's Office. She says she hasn't seen a uniform process when it comes to making intake decisions, and that's why the top prosecutor, Ivan Bates, wants some of the guessing removed from the process and instead put the decision in the hands of a judge. Bates says last year,
almost 33% of those were individuals based on our research and analysis that says these are cases that should have gone to a juvenile magistrate, and DJS should not have been allowed to make the call. That's exactly why I've been yelling, screaming, tweak this law and just say DJS does not have a say, but yet let's give it straight to the judge automatically with certain offenses.
Amid the intake questions, there's concerns about an adult facing a laundry list of attempted murder and other related charges connected to the Brooklyn Homes mass shooting, which was Baltimore's worst mass shooting in history. A judge approved the transfer of an 18-year-old, Tristan Jackson, from adult jail to juvenile detention. A DJS representative was at the hearing where the motion was made. According to police records, Jackson was tracked to the scene of the Brooklyn Homes mass shooting by GPS monitor that he was already wearing. Jackson under DJS supervision already for bringing a loaded gun to Mervo High School in February of 2023. Police say Jackson was seen on CCTV video spraying 5 rounds in the direction of several unknown people who were running away.
It's incredibly unusual, if not unheard of.
Baltimore area attorney Jeremy Eldridge calls the transfer outlandish and says it could set a dangerous precedent moving forward.
The fact that DJS and the Office of the Public Defender are openly advocating for an adult who's been charged as an adult to be held at a juvenile detention facility means that other judges will have to consider the same thing. And more importantly, does it not pose a safety risk for the juveniles who are already there pending other charges?
A DJS spokesperson tells me that the intake officers are actually case managers, and they also work throughout the community. And I did get a breakdown of how many intake officers are working in the different DJS facilities. You can find that information in this story on our website. In the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
Well, that brings us to our question of the day. Should lawmakers address juvenile crime at the start of the legislative session? So far, 98% of those who have voted say yes. You can make your voice heard right now at foxbaltimore.com/vote. Here's a live look this morning from our Len Stoller mobile track. We are checking the road conditions right now. We'll bring you that update just ahead.
And it looks like a wintry mix is officially moving into our region. I'm getting reports of some sleet, some snow, and some rain across the region. I'll show you where all of that is happening and what to expect for the rest of the day in just a couple of minutes. It's 9:38. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Coming up this week on Full Measure, we'll look at the latest evidence unearthed on a threat of subpoena by a congressional committee when it comes to government censorship. Congressman Jim Jordan heads the committee doing the investigation. He'll tell us what documents show about federal officials colluding with academia and social media companies in ways that offend the First Amendment. As Israel fights the Islamic extremist terrorist group Hamas, crucial aspects of the battle are taking place underground. We'll examine the history of tunnel warfare and whether U.S. troops are trained up to fight on a similar battlefield. And as the 2024 election heats up, what is dark money? How is it being spent? And which political party has the advantage? You might be surprised. Scott Thuman investigates all this week on Full Measure.
9:42 on this weather alert Saturday. Here's a quick update from one forecast model showing how much snowfall we could see. As you can see, not a ton. I think highest amounts will be north and west. Spots like Westminster could pick up a quick 1 to 3 inches of slushy snow before we unfortunately all change over to rain. So it's not a pure snow day ahead of us. We will see some snow showers to start, then a rain-snow mix as we head through the midday hours, and then unfortunately just ending with that soaking rain tonight. Tomorrow looks drier. Be prepared for some leftover icy spots early on, but I think by the afternoon we're back in the low 40s. Taylor?
All right, well, the Biden administration is moving towards a more electric vehicle, rather just ahead in our Spotlight in America. You can take a look at it and the race to make it happen. We're also making sure you're prepared on this weather alert day. Stick with us as we track the storm and road conditions. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. Fox 45 Morning News is keeping you weather alert as the winter storm moves into our region. Right now, you're looking live over the Inner Harbor as we are still looking calm in our region, but our team of meteorologists is predicting snow and rain to pick up here in the next hour. It could impact your weekend plans, including the game today. That's happening at M&T Bank Stadium at 4:30 this afternoon. Let's continue our live team coverage this morning as we look on the left of your screen as that system moves west towards us. As you can see at the top of your screen, we've got Olivia Dance, who is live in Westminster. We think that she's at the MDOT facility. That's right there. In the middle box, our traffic photojournalist Graham and our Len Stoller mobile track. We'll check in on them in just a few minutes, but let's start right here in studio with meteorologist Amy Aronson. Wow, okay, yeah. That changed quickly.
Right on cue, I know, 10 a.m., right on cue. The snow showers starting to develop in spots like Westminster and Manchester. So Carroll County seeing the snow first. It looks like that's now extending down towards Reisterstown and Owings Mills. Little bit of sleet mixing in there too. That's what most people are telling me they're seeing currently. We're also seeing some of that in the Hereford zone, and then just some rain showers if you're in Baltimore City. So we've got it all this morning. This storm is definitely going to be a mixed bag situation, little bit of everything. Right now we're starting off chilly, mid-30s in Baltimore, cloudy skies there. That's why we're seeing the rain. It is above freezing, but we are starting to see some snow showers develop too for areas to the north. And then a rain-snow mix will follow by midday, and then we're all going to wrap up this system, unfortunately, with some heavy rain, a chilly, heavy rain. So we've got it all. That's all part of the same weather maker. We've got rain to the south, snow to the north. We're right in the middle. So we get a little bit of everything eventually as some milder air takes over. We can see the blue north of Baltimore, the pink in the middle, and then the green green to the south. If we continue to track this hour by hour, you'll notice most of the snow accumulates well north and west of Baltimore before that change over to some ice and some rain. I think that changeover happens as early as 3 o'clock this afternoon. So that means any snow that happens to fall and accumulate will then change to rain, and the rain just kind of washes it away as it moves out of here tonight. Heading home from the Ravens game, it's going to be messy, but because of rain, not snow. So that rain will wrap things up tonight, and then winds will pick up behind this. Tomorrow morning's going to be a breezy one. Anything left behind on untreated surfaces, most likely it's going to be slick tomorrow with temperatures starting off right around freezing. By the afternoon, we welcome back some sunshine. Still a blustery day, a little bit of a breeze, and some chilly temperatures too, with highs back in the low 40s. Quick look at how much snow we're expecting before we make that quick transition over to rain. Rain south of the city, no snow there. Trace to 1 inch in Baltimore City, about 1 to 2 just to the north of that in Baltimore County, and then 1 to 3 in Carroll County today before we change over to that heavy rain tonight. So I threw it all in your planner here, starting off with that rain snow as we speak. That will continue through this afternoon before we all switch over to all rain late this afternoon, early this evening. And that's how this weather maker is actually going to wrap up before it gets out of here. That means if you have plans to head to the Ravens game, if you're tailgating today or just heading to the game this afternoon, be prepared for some heavy rain at times. And it's a chilly heavy rain, so layers and ponchos, you'll need both of those things if you're going to be out in M&T Bank Stadium today. Weather alert because of that wintry mix, that mess of a day. It's going to be breezy and drier tomorrow, better for outdoor plans. And then our next weather maker comes on Tuesday, this one with some milder air, so it's going to be an all rain maker, but we could actually see some heavy rain at times from that system. Taylor? Oh, actually, we're going to head one more time back out with Olivia Dance, who's been keeping an eye on conditions all morning long in Carroll County. And now you're finally out of the storm tracker and seeing something.
Yeah, good morning, Amy. We have stepped out of the Chevy Storm Tracker here, and I have my snow hat on just in time because we finally found the snow. It's really more of a rainy snow mix right now, but it is snowing. We're actually at the MDOT facility here in Westminster. The employees here are prepared for the snow. You can see they have their windshield wipers up. Actually, most of the cars here do. But yeah, we're at the MDOT facility here where we've seen snow plows coming in and out all morning. They are prepared. Up until this point, we've actually seen more snow plows out on the roads than we actually have seen snow. This is really the first accumulation and real snow flurries that we've seen since we've been out all morning. Now, the roads you can tell have been pre-treated. The MDOT so that they have been busy out all morning. And the way that you can tell that is actually there's like lines on the road, and that's that salt brine mix. So of course that's great to see because as the storm comes through, whether it's rain, snow, once that temperature drops, it'll hopefully prevent the roads from getting slippery and make sure that you're safe when you're out driving about. So if you are heading out today, you want to make sure that you pack your hat, gloves, jacket, and just make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. But for now, reporting live in Westminster, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 Morning News.
This morning, the race between infrastructure and innovation is on as America transitions to all electric vehicles. It's going to take some major upgrades to achieve the ambitious new rules proposed by the Biden administration. They would require 2/3 of new cars be sold in the U.S. be all electric by 2032. Can the country do it in time? Spotlight on America correspondent Angie Moreski investigates.
So this is electric.
This is electric.
One of the very first.
One of the first.
Brad Brownell knows cars. He's director of the Crawford Auto and Aviation Museum in Cleveland, Ohio. And as a longtime automotive writer, took a 10-day cross-country trip to evaluate the nation's EV charging network.
The biggest surprise to me was I found places like Fort Wayne, Indiana, had almost no charging at all.
He calls the middle of the country an EV charging wasteland. Right now, the country has about 53,000 public EV charging locations nationwide. States with the most, California by far, followed by New York, Florida, and Texas. States with the fewest, Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, South Dakota, and Alaska. Spotlight on America rented a Tesla Model 3 and hit the road in Ohio.
When you're driving long distance in an EV, range anxiety is very real, not only because of the patchy charging network, but also because of the reliability of the charging stations once you do reach them.
I've experienced extremely slow charging, and I've experienced where I've had to call and have the machine reset.
Making EV charging both convenient and reliable will be essential to make the ambitious EV goals feasible. Will the country's infrastructure be ready for this in less than a decade?
There's a lot of work to be done for sure, but we think we will be ready.
The Department of Energy's Michael Barabee says construction is underway to build out the charging network.
We will be able to build out across every interstate, every U.S. highway, all the major roads, having them at least every 50 miles.
$7.5 billion from the infrastructure law passed in 2021 is funding the effort, with tens of millions of dollars designated for every state. The goal to go from just under 150,000 individual public charging outlets now to 500,000 by 2030.
Can the electric grid handle the acceleration towards this transition?
The answer, the devil really is in the details.
Dr. Ramteen Sioshansi is a leading expert on energy technology. He's a professor and director of Carnegie Mellon University's Electricity Industry Center.
It depends really on how people are going to be using and recharging their vehicles.
Sioshansi says the grid does have excess capacity for increased demand, but managing when customers charge will be important to avoid overload at peak times.
In 1900, it was easier to have an electric vehicle like this than a gas vehicle.
Yes.
Car enthusiasts like Brownell are hopeful history will repeat itself, especially with billions of dollars being spent now to make it happen.
Spotlight on America also wanted to interview the Secretary of the Department of Transportation for this report, since they distribute all of that infrastructure money to the states, but their office declined. I'm Angie Moreski for Spotlight on America.
Stick with Fox 45 Morning News. After the break, meteorologist Amy Aronson has our exclusive 7-day forecast and another look at the conditions outside once that winter weather pushes through. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.